This is a very nice coffee. It's a very, just from the nose, it's kind of sweet, chocolatey, very distinctive chocolate, a very kind of delicate, caramelly chocolate. I'm getting some background floral notes. I don't know. Did you start off with one of the best ones? I don't know. It's very balanced. And it's a delicate coffee, but there's a kind of a resonance in back of that delicacy, a kind of a depth of sensation. That's nice. It's simple and there's a little bitter edge to the structure. It's a little less sweet than I would expect from the nose. And getting some other, perhaps not the certain ways in which the cup doesn't live up to the nose. What do you think?
Yeah, I would say the same thing. It was a surprise when I tasted it. I expected a little more. But, I mean, the scent I'm still with, you know, I mean, still, every time I lift it to near my nose, I'm like, wow, this is very fragrant.
Yeah, it's a little bitter, astringent, and like dead in the finish. It's just, I think that this coffee probably, perhaps is a little stale. I don't want to say stale. That's too harsh a word, but it's maybe been in the packaging a little too long. The other possibility is that I think that's most likely. In other words, it's something that it's not part of the coffee itself. I don't think this kind of somewhat dull, rubbery finish. I think it's something that arose after the roasting or maybe even during the roasting, although it seems like a nicely roasted coffee given how pretty it is in the nose.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may be better after we let it cool. We'll go back to it, and it could be that it'll settle down. Sometimes coffees that are not fresh enough, they settle down and taste a little better after they start to cool.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was glad you brought that up because I found in the last couple of times we've been cupping together like this, tasting these coffees, it is amazing how as they cool too, they get more complex. There's a lot of things that happen in coffee. You know, everyone talks about a hot cup of coffee, and yeah, I agree. You know, it's always nice to start off with a really hot cup of coffee, but as it cools, a lot of times they get better.
Yeah, it's already getting a little better, I think.
I do too. Yeah, some of that bitterness is going away.
Well, all I can say, I think it's a pretty good Kona blend, which would be 10% Kona. Could be a 100% Kona that from one of the larger mills. The Kona industry is split into two segments, really. There are large mills that the farmers bring their fresh coffee in their pickup trucks and sell it to the mills, and then the mills process it and into green coffee using a wet method. It's Kona is almost always the classic Kona is always a washed coffee, meaning that the fruit and the skin are removed right away after the farmers bring in the coffee, and then the beans are dried. So it could be a decent 100% Kona, not the best, or it could be a good Kona blend with 10% Kona, which doesn't have much impact, and other coffees from Central America, or softer style Colombia or Peru. Peruvian coffees make a good contribution to blends, to Kona style blends, because they're soft. Or it could be a Kona blend. So sorry, some guess.
Yeah, well, actually, I think that's a really good guess, and that is really quite a compliment, actually, to say that it could be 100% Kona. If it is 100% Kona, of course it's reasonable, and if it isn't, I mean, it's awesome, because the idea that they did a good enough job at in effect stretching the Kona taste with other coffees that are complementary, at least, if not just like Kona. And in fact, here it is.
Don Francisco's Kona blend. It's probably a very good price. And I would expect the Don Francisco's is a Gavinia coffee. They have a big, very sophisticated modern facility in Los Angeles area. And their packaging is very good. So I'm not sure, because I feel if there's something wrong here, it's probably the packaging. But now I see who's done the packaging, I'm thinking, no, maybe it's the coffee. Maybe that they had to buy some coffee, not the Kona part, but the other part. Maybe they had something in their, I hate to say this, but in their warehouse that they could use that had been sitting around too long. There's a little faded edge, as I've said, to the coffee. But it's a remarkably, somebody who buys this would get something very close to a good Kona, probably better coffee than they'll get in a lot of hotels in Kona. It shows the skill of the blender to create something that gives an impression of a classic Kona coffee.